What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Wednesday to everybody. The SEC returns, and we've got the Canes versus the Seminoles this Saturday. Of course, this is a call-in show if you want to call in for any reason at all. Just ask George. He'll tell you there's any reason you can call in at all. The number to call in is 864-207-4522. Before we get into any of that, I want to go ahead and make a couple of announcements as usual. Look at my show schedule. Monday with Mark Rogers TV. Go support my boy Mark Rogers on his Patreon page as he's unable to upload videos with his own face on there for the time being. Tuesday lunch money, Thursday lunch money at noon during your lunch break with myself and Uncle Lou. On Tuesday's show, we went over SEC picks against the spread, and tomorrow we will go over the ACC, the Big 12, and we will give our locks of the week, including Pigskin Pete's lock of the week. Pigskin Pete's lock of the week. As well as our real money segment where we talk about what we're putting the real money on. Everyone go check that out. Friday night, 10 p.m. My favorite call-in show of the week. Saturday. Oh, by the way, Saturday. I was toying around with what I wanted to do was a stream during the Tennessee versus South Carolina game, but then I was looking at the time schedule, and I realized that Florida State and Miami are playing on the same time slot at 7:30. So I changed my mind. I want to see Florida State play Miami. I'll be flipping back and forth, of course. But come hang out with me on Saturday night, starting around 7:10, 7:15, somewhere around there. That's when I'll start the show. For the Florida rivalry, Miami and Florida State. I've changed my mind. Hope you all can live with that. If you can't, I'm sorry. Big news. Big news. The howardsrock.net website. I've been telling you to stay tuned with this. The new website is up. And not only is the new website up, all the content you see here on YouTube will be posted over on howardsrock.net, but that's not even the best part. The best part is there's a link in the description of this video, which is basically just a link to howardsrock.net. It's just a website link. You go to the menu bar up there, and you'll see a section called Store. We are now officially selling official licensed Clemson gear over there. Not the stuff that I've been putting on Teespring for the past 12 months. The stuff that I designed, even though the stuff I designed was pretty damn good. I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you that. Official licensed Clemson gear. And on top of that, I know a lot of you that watch me aren't even Clemson fans. There's a bunch of other teams on there. There's Georgia. There's Florida. There's Auburn. There's Oklahoma. There's Ohio State. There's Oregon. There's Alabama. I don't even know how many there are, but there's a bunch of them. So click the link in the description if you're looking at getting you some gear. And by the way, I want to say this. So the store just opened up today. We are adding more and more stuff to the stores for every team, not just Clemson, on a daily or weekly basis. It's all about how much inventory we can get in, and this whole thing behind that. But as of right now, there's still a bunch of stuff up there. You can get yourself a Speed Mini helmet. You can get what do they got? They got license plates, license plate covers. They got magnets. They got stickers. They got there's all kinds of crap over. Oh, a face mask for if you have to go out in public and wear one of these masks, you can get a mask for your team. So go over to howardsrock.net, and if you don't like the content over there, which I know you will, if you're here, go to the store. If you're looking to get a present for yourself, your wife, grandmother, your father, your uncle, your kids, excited about that. And there's more stuff to come there too in the very near future. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Then we'll get to the phone calls and talk about some SEC football and ACC football and even some Big 12 football. All football matters in this comment section. Unfortunately, I'm not doing enough Clemson content, according to one person. Newsflash. Clemson's not playing this week, so there's nothing to talk about as far as Clemson goes. Unless you want to talk about how they beat up on the Citadel. Cheers to the chat. Let's see who's in here. Nate the Great, don't be late. And he's never late. He was late last week. I got to address this real quick. Nate, I was only kidding with you, sir. Now you made me feel bad. Nate was late last week to the show. He said he's never late. And he even he changed his name from Nate the Great, don't be late, just to Nate the Great because he was late. Now I feel bad. You can change your name back, sir. I'll give you permission. He was late, and I told him he had to do 25 push-ups on his knuckles for being late. And not only did he do it, but he videotaped it and posted it on YouTube. Now, he didn't do all 25. I'll give you a pass just for an A for effort, sir. An A for effort. Gator Zoned. What's up, buddy? Matt Dummett. Tiger Nation, my brother for life. How you doing, man? SC Tiger Fan 803. Richard Williams. Brad Pitt. X-Wing Sports. How are you doing? Big Ed's in the house. What's up, Big Ed? Are you excited about your big game this weekend? I'm sure you are. Everyone's talking trash about the LSU Tigers this year, man. I know you're sitting back just waiting to prove them wrong, aren't you, buddy? I know you are. Hurricane Logan. Canes by 30. Offense puts up 500 plus. Good night, everyone. Jeez, 500 plus. Well, I did pick the Canes to win, which is probably bad news for you based on my picks so far this year. Clemson Carson. Jordan Bowman. The SEC is back. It just means more. Wrong. They think it means more. What's up, Todd B? Mike Bridges. Oh, Todd, thank you for reminding me about that. And you guys play fantasy football. We have a weekly fantasy league and FanDuel for the Lunch Money Show with myself and Uncle Lou. There's a link in the description of this video. You'll see it. Just click the description box. It'll say FanDuel. FanDuel Lunch Money, I think is what it says. If you already have a FanDuel account, all you got to do is just click that link and just go enter your line. It costs $2. All right? I'm not getting any money out of this. Nobody's getting any money. FanDuel's not a sponsor of mine. This is just for fun. This is for bragging rights, and you might win like $10 or whatever. And whatever. That's not what it's about. So just go do it. Go click the link. We need 4 more people to fill the league up. It's a 20-person league each week. And I think as of at least an hour ago, I haven't checked in the past hour, there's only been 16 people in there. So we need 4 more. If you got a FanDuel account, go sign up. If you don't have a FanDuel account, go make one and then click the link and then sign up. It costs $2. And Rack Dog, by the way, shout out to him. He won last week, first place, and won $36. Good luck to everybody. DeGoat Watson, vodka drinker. And DeGoat Watson is the GOAT, by the way. He's not lying. Jamie Oldman. Slim Shady Canes. He says, hey, Pete, it's official. The Carolina Panthers are doo-doo. Yeah, I hope they stay doo-doo, too. I want Trevor Lawrence. So we have this tradition every Sunday, me and Mrs. Peete. We go to this local sports bar here, Carolina Ale House, and we watch the NFL games for a couple hours, Get away from the kids for a couple hours. She likes football. I like football. I was actively rooting against the Panthers in that game, and she got mad at me. What's up, NCIS Fanatic 21 says, free Mark Rogers. Yes, I agree. Johnny Red Dot, what's up, buddy? DeRay USC Columbia Style. Thank you for joining. Crimson Brave 2020. McD Sports 4. Rowdy Rocker. Johnny Red Dot. I know Johnny Red Dot's happy. First of all, NC State plays this week. They get to play against Virginia Tech. His wife's a NC State fan, and he's an Alabama fan. He gets to watch two of his favorite teams play this week, which is rare. What's up, Russell Harrison? All right. Cheers to the chat. 864-207-4522. Let's get to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete. It's Nate the Great. No, don't be late, a.k.a. Nate Kingston. How
Nate,
you doing, sir?
The Great. You were late one time, a.k.a. Nate Kingston. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. I'm glad you're doing good. Are you sore after those? You did about, how many push-ups did you end up doing? I told you 25. I think you did.
I probably did like 21.
I think, well, yeah, you did about 20. You did a good job. I'm proud of you, sir.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Yep. Plus, that's how I did it. Did the knees push-ups in weight class. So yeah. But anyways, I'm excited for Miami versus Florida State, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. But hope it's not like a low scoring game, like 3-3 or 3-10. But I mean, come on, it's Florida State and Miami. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know.
I think it's going to be an exciting game. I'm picking Miami to win, probably big. We'll talk more about that on tomorrow's Lunch Money show as far as how much I think they'll win by, but it'll still be exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, those two teams hate each other. It's good to see a rivalry game this early in the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, sorry I've been like a little late on the lunch show because I've been at the young adult program because I can't watch it during like lunch and stuff. So I can watch it during lunch, but like I only have like 5 or 15 minutes of lunch to do, and then I gotta shut up. What?
No need to apologize, sir. A lot of people can't watch it at 12 o'clock noon. I understand that. But you know what the great thing about YouTube is that after the show's over, it uploads, and you can watch it anytime you want, buddy. As long as you're watching, that's all that matters.
Okay. One more thing. I'll go let you get the other phones. So,
okay. What's up?
I am excited for Nebraska and Michigan for this year. Yep.
I'm sure you are. I'm excited to see them. I'm not as excited as you are because you're a fan of those teams, but I'm excited that they are at least playing. I can tell you that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Pete. I'll do on Friday. I'll call on Friday.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Yep.
There you guys have it. Nate the Great. Don't be. I actually feel bad. I was making a joke when I told him to do those push-ups on his knuckles, and he actually did it. Now I feel bad for it. So. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete. This is Big Ed.
What's up, Big Ed?
Pretty good, except for all the hate I'm getting, but I think I can handle it. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hope you don't think I'm hating, because I'm not. I think LSU's
going
to be
I'm
good.
just messing around.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I've heard 5-5. I mean, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but
No, I'm not. I don't.
I don't think they're gonna lose any more than probably 4. I don't think they're gonna lose any more than 4.
I'm with you on that. I agree with you.
I want to make a bit of a comparison right now, though.
Okay.
So I want to compare Dabo Swinney at Clemson to Nick Saban at LSU. I got to bring up LSU. I mean,
Okay.
It's me.
All right, lay it on me.
So both of these schools, you can't say they were great, but you could say they had really good high points. See, before Nick Saban got to LSU and before Dabo Swinney got to Clemson, they both had one national championship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Nick Saban brought a recruiting advantage and his no-nonsense style of coaching combined with high expectation and precise knowledge of X's and O's pushed LSU over the top. Similarly, I think that Dabo Swinney has a completely different but just as effective style of coaching. I think it's a bit more humanistic, and his personal style, his personal connection with every one of the players is just something that most coaches could only strive to achieve. But his chemistry, his values, I know he's deeply religious, so am I. I think that's what pushed Clemson over the top to get their 2 national championships so far. Probably will get more. I want to see what you think about it.
Well, it's ironic that you compared Dabo Swinney to Nick Saban at LSU, because I think there is a lot of comparisons to be made between Swinney and Saban. They're very different styles of people, but their coaching style is very similar. Now, I think try this on for size, Big Ed. I think there's a better comparison to be made between Ed Orgeron and Dabo Swinney. Now, I understand Ed Orgeron is not.
I was going to get to that.
Ed Orgeron hasn't had he hasn't been there as long. That's the first thing. So he hasn't had the chance to have the amount of success that Dabo's been. Well, Dabo's been the head coach for going on his 12th year now at Clemson, but he was an assistant coach for many years before that. So he's been there for almost 20 years as a coach in some capacity at Clemson. So Ed Orgeron's behind the 8 ball as far as that. But like you were mentioning, their connection with the players, the recruiting, and I think both Ed Orgeron and Dabo Swinney, the thing that makes them great is their choices in picking assistant coaches. Like, if it weren't for Ed Orgeron going out last year and plucking Joe Brady as the passing game coordinator from the Saints, they might not have had that national championship. Now, maybe they would have without him, but what do you think? Do you think they would have?
Well, I was going to get to that, actually. Well, I give Nick Saban more credit than I think most people for the 2007 national championship for LSU, even though it was under Les Miles. But I think that Les Miles more or less kept the fire burning, but didn't really add any wood to it, you know what I mean? I think that Nick Saban got us rolling to a point where it was hard for Les Miles to sink the ship. But eventually, as you know, he went downhill slowly since 2011. And Ed Orgeron brought that energy that is similar, like you said, to Dabo Swinney. And I think that's what the new age of coaching should be more like. He has something that's very similar to the Louisiana population itself. There's a stubbornness to him that's just unrivaled.
I agree with you. There's no better fit for the major university in the state of Louisiana than Ed Orgeron. He just oozes Cajun from his pores. And you know what? Dabo Swinney is a very good fit. I know he's from Alabama, but he fits in very well with the South Carolina, especially the upstate of South Carolina type of fan and the university itself. So I think that the better comparison is actually Ed Orgeron and Dabo Swinney, not Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney.
Well, the reason I chose to compare Nick Saban as he was at LSU is because once he got there, he had a small bit of time to build up towards a national championship level program. That's very similar to what Dabo Swinney had to do since 2009, if I am correct in my dates. And if I were to compare him to Nick Saban now after the multiple national championships at Alabama, I just don't think it's quite earned yet, but I see no reason for it not to be in the future because the ball is just continually growing at Clemson. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
No, I agree with you. All right, but anything else you got for me? I got some other calls stacking up here.
Nah, that's about it. That's a good talk.
All right, Big Ed. Thank you for the call, buddy, and I'll see you. Hey, call next week after the LSU game.
You know I will.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Thank you, Richard Williams, for the $5 super chat. You're amazing and fantastic, but I happen to think that you already know that you are, and I happen to know that you are as well. To the next call, this guy's been on hold for a while. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete. It's a Gamecock fan. Just kidding. It's Coulter. Coulter is the resident OU fan of this channel. And first of all, I'd like to complain that I've been waiting for about half an hour, but that's fine because you have to do a bunch of introductions. But I got a question for you.
Yeah, I took the order. I took the phone calls in the order they came in, so I apologize for that. But yeah, what you got for me?
So I know the title's talking about ACC, SEC. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to complain that no one's talking about the Big 12 because I see 3 potential storylines that could be talked about today or for this week, and I want to know what you think the biggest one is. And the 3 I have is Spencer Rattler's first test towards the Big 12, towards Oklahoma defending their crown as Big 12, Texas getting a test against Texas Tech on the road, and then Oklahoma State's potential rebound game against West Virginia. Which do you think is the bigger storyline?
I think Spencer Rattler's the biggest story in the Big 12 period. Oklahoma State, I guess Oklahoma State and West Virginia is interesting. But I think that outside of any team, well, so here's the thing. So Texas and Oklahoma, I think everybody's got their eyes on both of them for obvious reasons. I mean, let's be real. That's the 2 clear-cut best teams in the Big 12, but it's not even close, really, after that.
And their rivalry is on the same day you're going to see Clemson, Miami, and you're not going to be able to react to the game.
Which one?
The Red River Showdown.
Well, I'll be at the Clemson and Miami game, so I won't be reacting to anything.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll be out of town, so yeah, you're right. I won't be able to. And damn, that kind of sucks. Now that I think about it, but I'll record the game, and when I get home, I'll watch it closely. Because I don't know if I know you watch me on a regular basis. I'm Spencer Rattler's at the top of my Heisman list. I think he's a super exciting player. One of the most exciting players in football, and he's just making his first, his breakout this year. So I really think it's Oklahoma's, and it's sort of like a Clemson situation, except Clemson doesn't maybe have that second closest team the same way that Oklahoma does in their conference. But I still think that it's their conference to lose, and Spencer Rattler is going to have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, but I personally think the Texas Tech game is going to be a bigger story. And maybe that's because being a Big 12 guy, I love me some air raid. And Sam Ellinger and Alan Bowman, if he can stay healthy. If I'm not mistaken, last week those 2 quarterbacks combined for over 900 yards.
You think Texas Tech is going to even compete in this game? I know you hate Texas, so take your Sooner shades off for a second.
No, I'm not saying that Texas Tech's going to be able to hang with Texas, but I am saying that I'm expecting a high-flying air raid game.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I honestly do think, as much as it pains me to say it, that Texas is probably going to win the game, but because it's a road game, I think that Texas Tech is going to cover because the spread's like 17.5. I think Texas Tech will make it interesting, but I don't think there's any way they can beat Texas. So I'm going to go, for that game, I'm going to go pretty high scoring. I'm going to go Texas 45, Texas Tech 35.
45-35. I don't want to say too much right now because I have my lunch money show tomorrow where we're going to talk about that game in particular. I can't remember what the over/under is on that game. I don't like the spread on. Just from what you just told me, I don't like
the over/under 70, if I'm not mistaken.
70. That's typical for a Big 12 game, especially a Texas Tech game.
Remember when you said Miami reaching 500 yards of offense early in the show? You didn't believe that? Well, I can't believe it. But that's being a Big 12 guy.
I didn't say that. I was reading a comment.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. No. Anyway, yeah, I'll be looking at that game. Make sure you tune into the Lunch Money Show, sir, and we'll talk plenty about that game.
Yeah, I'll try. And I'll just say one more thing before I go. Louisville is literally the 2018 Oklahoma Sooners with a Florida State caliber offensive line.
That's actually a pretty good comparison there. I'm impressed.
Because one of the reasons Oklahoma could actually compete in games, even with their terrible defenses, because I'm just going to say this, they had the best offensive line in the country that year. You had 4 seniors, and then Creed Humphrey is a preseason All-American.
Yeah, Oklahoma's always got a good offensive line. And really, their only deficiency is their defense. If they were to, I think I said this the past couple of years here on YouTube, if they even had a top 30 defense, they'd be almost unbeatable.
I think they did actually have a top 30 defense last year. Maybe it was top 50, but I'm not for sure.
I don't think so.
I will say this. Our offense was a lot weaker last year. I'm just going to say that. Compared to 2018, at least.
Right. Well.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll let you go, you rock, rubber, ramp runner.
Yes,
Sorry to steal Dennis Wilson's quote.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I am a rock, rubber, ramp runner. He's right. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Pete, sir. How are you?
Slim Shady Canes. Just the guy I wanted to talk to on the eve of the big Florida State rivalry game.
Well, I'm honored, sir.
Yes. Well, I already know where you're going with this. So, I mean, I don't have to ask about that. Real quick, Definition 409, thank you for the donation, sir. He says, you're a stand-up dude, Pete. Well, I appreciate that, Definition 409. Slim Shady.
Yes, sir.
How bad is this going to be? How ugly is this going to get? Not the phone call, the game. No comprende.
I'm actually
no speaking English.
I'm actually thinking the game may end up closer than most people think. I'm not ready to just write off Florida State because they lost to Georgia Tech. I mean, and I had to remind some Miami fans the other day, we're on a 2-game losing streak to Georgia Tech. So let's keep things in perspective.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, there hasn't been a bunch of blowouts in this rivalry. So I think it'd be kind of foolish to predict one.
Well,
I mean, even if you go back to 2013 when Jameis Winston was there,
what do you consider
not a lot of blowouts?
Blowout? I mean, what's your standard for a blowout?
4 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
At least 3.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm with you. So Miami's not even favored by 2.
Do what?
I said Miami's not even favored by 2 touchdowns, so that they're not predicting a blowout.
Yeah. A lot of Miami fans are.
Oh, listen.
You have one in your comment section now that doesn't know a thing about football.
Go ahead, call him out by name. We can do that here.
Hurricane Logan says I'm clueless. But he also said that
I see him now.
He also said that we were going to throw up like 60 on Louisville, which didn't happen.
By the way, Hurricane Logan, I'm not calling you clueless, or I'm not saying you don't know anything about football. That's Slim Shady. Okay.
That's all me. Well, somebody alluded to it earlier in the chat. Yeah. Miami fans are taking things a little out of perspective. Louisville they're in the top 10 of the worst defenses in the nation.
This is
so
true.
I'll rave about this team when they show me something, or at least the offense when they show me something against quality defense. I know the defense is good.
How much of that game, according to you, the game against Louisville, how much of that was stellar play on the defensive line by Miami, and how much of that was just atrocious offensive line play by Louisville?
A good portion of it was pretty bad offensive line play.
I
give
agree.
it 60-40.
Okay, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I think obviously has something to do with both. And Lou made the comment to me when I was talking about Louisville's defense or offensive line. He said, "Well, Miami's defensive line is really good, and they're going to make a bunch of teams in the ACC's offensive line look bad, but not that. I mean, and he's right, but not that bad. I mean, they're Florida State bad.
Yeah, they're right up there with Florida State or our offensive line last year, which I'll give them credit. I ragged on them last year, and they're looking better this year.
Well, you can't get worse. I mean, better is a relative term.
Well, I'll put it like this. I can't remember the last time they had 300-plus yards of rushing in a game. I mean, it hasn't been within the last 4 or 5 years.
I'll say
even
this,
if
though,
it's against
Slim.
UAB.
So here's what I'll say. Because all we can go off of is who we've seen each team play so far this year. We're still really early into the season, right? So if we're going to try to make comparisons between Louisville and Florida State, which is what we're doing, because obviously we're not going to use UAB in this situation. So Louisville's defense is terrible. We already know that. I mean, I realize Miami's got a bunch of great players on offense. You know, some really good skill players. That running back is amazing. Derek King's playing really well. He's not lighting the stat board up with his arm, but he's playing well. But yeah. I have never seen it look like a Big 12 game to me whenever Miami was on offense. Wide open receivers, running lanes it was like nobody was trying to even tackle the guy. Arm tackles, missing arm tackles. It was awful. And so, but here's the thing. I think Florida State's definitely got a better defense than Louisville, so that'll at least make some bit of a difference there. But I think Louisville might have a better offense than Florida State.
I have no doubt of that, and I think you're right on about Florida State's defense being a little better.
Yeah, but Louisville's offense. I mean, they have a legit quarterback, and that running back was really legit, despite the offensive line play. So it makes it hard to compare the two because they're on opposite. I mean, they're both bad on at least one side of the ball. In Florida State's case, it's the offense is terrible, and in Louisville's case, the defense is terrible. So. It's going to be a different style of game played here, but I still think when it's all said and done, I'm picking Miami to win this game by a couple of touchdowns, which is probably bad news for you based on my picks so far this year. So.
Well, like I said, I'm probably not too far off from you. I mean, I think they can win this game anywhere from by 10 to 17 points. But, I mean, I've seen score predictions of, like Logan earlier, they're going to win by 30. I don't think so. I mean, as good as much better as the offense, they could. I'm not saying they couldn't.
Yeah.
But as much better as the offense has looked so far, it's against UAB and Louisville. To me, and I'm not even sure you'll get an idea of how good this offense is in this game. To me, the measuring stick's going to be the Clemson game.
Well, that's
to kind of judge where they're at.
Well, yeah. Yeah. See, Clemson hasn't played anybody with a pulse either. I mean, Wake Forest is not very good. I mean, offensively, they're pretty good, and Clemson did a pretty good job of shutting them down. But Clemson's got a lot of youth on defense. I mean, great talented players, don't get me wrong, but a lot of youth. And that's the only reason I think that this game between Miami and Clemson could at least be interesting. I still think Clemson's going to win and win semi-convincingly. But I'm not. I
think you're right.
I'm not saying Clemson's going to go out there and win 50-7 or anything.
No, it's not going to be 2015 all over again.
No, I don't think so either. Derek King and Miami's offense is too good, and their defensive line's legit. So they'll keep it interesting, I think. And when I say interesting, I mean within a couple touchdowns for the most of the game. That's what I think. But
I look at it like this: my measuring stick of Miami being a good team. Is it within 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter?
Right.
Now, if they run away with it late in the fourth quarter and make it a 3 or 4 touchdown game, okay. But if they go into that fourth quarter and it's a 2-touchdown game, I think it's safe to say Miami's a good team.
I don't disagree. I've been actually pretty impressed with Miami so far this year, but we're still so early, and we got to consider the competition, right? So,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at. Now there are a lot of Miami fans griping about the way the defense played this week, and I'm looking at it like this. It was a 20. Yeah, I know, right? They held Louisville's offense, which is a good offense. It's not great, but it's a good offense.
Yeah, they
held them to 20 points going into the fourth quarter,
yeah,
and gave up 2 garbage touchdowns to a prevent defense. The first of which, by the way, was against the third-string players.
If to anybody that understands what they're looking at, Miami clearly has a good defense. Clearly. I'm not saying they're Ohio State or Clemson defense or what Alabama defense, but they're good. That's clear.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not trying to say that they're an elite defense in the country by any means. This isn't, when Lamar Jackson was there, but they're still a good offense. So I'm not as worried about the defense as some of the Miami fans are, and I'm still not jumping onto the offense quite yet. They definitely look better than they did last year. Like I said, to me, the Clemson game will be the measuring stick.
Well, it's not close to last year is an understatement. I mean, and by the way, Miami's offense is clearly getting better week to week. We only see 2 weeks, but there was a big uptick from there's a big uptick from first half of the first game to the second half, and then last week it was even better. And this is probably a result of Derek King getting more comfortable in that offensive system and getting and gelling more with the receivers and everything else. So I don't think it's inconceivable to think that Miami's offense going into the Clemson game could be light years ahead of what it was against UAB.
Yeah, I mean, the wide receivers got to quit dropping balls in the end zone, but outside of that.
You guys know that. I'm going to go ahead and warn you now. And I already know that you know this, but Miami's fans on the internet are rabid. They're like like stray pit bulls that haven't been eaten in a week, right? If they go out and struggle against Florida State, Florida State's terrible. You know you're never going to hear the end of this, right?
I'm sure.
Not you specifically, but Miami fans in general.
Well, like I said, I haven't written off Florida State either because they played one game, with the same shortened off season, and much like us, breaking in a new system with Mike Norvell.
Yeah, Richard Williams says we'll see how improved Miami is on the 10th of October. Yeah, I agree. Definition 409 with a $5 donation says Manny took this team to a high school game the night before to show them what the fans look like in the stands. This helped them beat the bad Louisville team. Oh, Lord. Oh. Well, for one,
I'll still sit.
I'm looking forward to this game this weekend.
Oh, I am too.
Well, I know you are, but as I'm not a fan of either team. I mean, I could care less who wins, honestly. Other than if I place a bet on it for the lunch money show, but I'm looking forward to it just because I know how much these teams hate each other. I want to see two things. I want to know, is Florida State really as bad as they showed a couple of weeks ago? And is Miami really as good as they showed last week? So there's two things I want to learn, and I think we can learn at least one of those two things after this game this weekend.
Yeah, I think you're right. But you know what? I still wouldn't really even look at it as negatively as a lot of people would if it's a close game. Because to the example I gave earlier, you go back to the 2013 Florida State team that won a national title, beat Miami by 1 point, and we were 7-5, 8-4 that year. A blocked extra point is what decided that game.
I guess that most of Miami fans forgot to watch the Western Kentucky game. Because Louisville, they had me fooled. They handled Western Kentucky. But it wasn't like, they didn't win by 40 points or anything, but they beat them convincingly. And then Western Kentucky goes out there and gets they're just completely waxed by something called Liberty.
I saw the score of that game.
So that win was not looking so great, on Louisville's side of it. Look, we got a Florida State fan in here, a sad FSU fan. No! Please don't do it. You know things are bad when you name your YouTube name a sad FSU fan. Well, anyway, welcome here, buddy. I got a respect for any FSU fan that shows them their face in public during these trying times. So you have my respect, even if you don't have Miami's. How about that? I'm a neutral party.
Hey, I've got all the respect in the world for the Seminoles. They kept us on the schedule. They didn't run like the Gators did.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Tell us about it.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, sir. Florida stepped away from the yearly rivalry in 1987 because they were tired of getting whooped.
This is the age-old debate, and I don't even know how many times we've talked about this on the show here, but is it more to do with the scheduling conflict for Georgia or for Florida than it is running for Miami? Because they're already playing.
How would it have been a scheduling conflict?
Well, they're already playing. Let's break it down. They're already playing Florida State every year. That's not a pandemic year, obviously. They're already playing Miami every year. That's two games in the state of Florida. They're playing 8 conference games. I'm no math major. That's 10 games. So you want them to schedule a 11th Power 5 game.
They didn't have a problem with it for 50-something years.
Look, Miami's not scheduling 11 Power 5 teams. I mean, nobody is.
I wish they would.
But I know. Well, I'm with you there, but nobody's doing that. So.
But see, Florida ended the series before that became a thing of trying to schedule a weaker schedule. Florida ended the series in '87.
Okay. Well. That's their excuse. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're right.
Well, I think it's a wore out, tired excuse that doesn't make any sense. You didn't have a problem with it for 50-something years before then.
Yeah.
So what's the problem now?
Well, I'd like to see that game played every year, but it's not going to. We both know it's not going to happen.
I mean, there are some people that want it to, but they're not. They're definitely the minority.
Yes. All right. I'll see you on Friday night. You need to call back on Friday night because I'm going to have a segment on here. I'm going to attempt to get to a Florida State fan on here. If there's any of them that watch, other than sad FSU, maybe he wants to call in. I want to get a Miami and a Florida State fan on here and argue with each other if I can. We'll see if that works out. But for right now,
I'm going to tell you on that call, we're winning by 60.
All right. I got a couple other calls. Thank you for the call, brother. I'll see you Friday night.
All right, boss man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Everybody, that's Slim Shady Canes. Everybody knows who Slim Shady Canes is. No need for an introduction there. Oh boy, I got 2 calls here. One looks even crazier than the other, so this we'll see what we got here. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Yeah, this is Jacob. I'm a Gator fan, and I was just calling in. I had to unfortunately listen to that last call, shaking my head, wondering. I didn't know that you let this foolishness on the air, Pigskin Pete.
Well, I can't control who calls in, including you.
I know.
I mean, I answer.
I can't.
I answer everything that comes through here. This is a free country and a free show for anybody who wants to call in.
You're right. You know what isn't free? That rent that Miami has to pay each month just to play in that stadium.
What's the dollar sign on that thing? How much they paying to play at that Hard Rock place?
Who knows on it? It can't be much. It really can't be. I mean, look at how many people show up. But man, I mean, I'd like to play Miami.
There's more people watching this show right now than there are that go to those games.
Yeah, and that's not even on a COVID year either, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to play Miami every year. I think we just take the better team out of Florida that we play each year, to be honest. When we walked away from the Miami series, I think we led the series. Maybe the series is really close. It hasn't been lopsided at all, but they came to Gainesville a few years ago. They beat us, but now it's getting it's to the point now in the series where I'm actually kind of rooting for Miami to do decent, to put something together for in the ACC, you know. So most people don't really consider that too much of a rivalry anymore, which sounds weird. But I guess, maybe it's because we don't play.
Did you just say you're rooting for Miami to do well in the ACC?
Yeah. I mean, they're not. And here's the thing. Just to the point of, I don't want them to be good again. I'd like for them to win when they play you guys.
You do.
Besides that, I want them to be.
Hold on now. No. Please don't do it. Sir, you want Miami to beat Clemson?
Yes.
Why?
Here's why. So I'm obviously a Florida fan, and yes, it's a little maybe far-fetched to think I'd like to see my Gators in the playoffs. And that's a playoff spot that I would love for us to have, especially on a year like this.
All right. So,
granted, okay, now, and I'd rather, anybody playing Clemson, anybody playing Alabama, anybody playing Ohio State.
I understand your point, but Clemson is not the one holding up your playoff spot. Clemson should be irrelevant to your playoff spot.
Yes and no. I mean, if y'all come into, I think like this year, for example, if y'all are a 2-loss.
2 losses.
A 2-loss.
Sir.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You tried and you failed miserably.
You think? Show me. Have you seen Clemson's schedule? Show me 2 losses on there.
I know, and that's why I'm rooting for. That's why I'm rooting for Miami.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
That's
one.
Do
loss.
I think you'll even get 1 loss? No.
Okay.
But if Miami was good, would I root for them to beat you guys? Probably not. But it's almost okay. It's almost at that point. You know how like you'll get made fun of somebody, or somebody will make fun of you in school, and then people say, well, it only hurts you if you take it personally, if you're not confident in yourself. It's literally to that point where Miami's so bad that I'm even okay with them beating a national powerhouse like Clemson. But nothing else to say about it. Miami's terrible. They're awful. Hopefully they will be for a long time. And they're the 3rd best team in Florida. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Jacob from Florida.
So, and if anybody has anything to say about it, 24-20. And also, I think I might have a hard time getting some of Miami's games on national television this year. I would go to the games, but the tickets are probably pretty cheap. But it's bad in Miami, to the point I don't even think Miami needs to mention Florida at all. But that's all I have to say about that.
You might be able to get tickets for free at this point.
If somebody might honestly drive me down there, maybe.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the call, man.
Thank you for the call.
All right. As luck would have it, or unluck would have it, whichever way you want to look at it here, we have another. That was one Florida caller. We have another Florida caller on the phone. Everybody knows who this guy is, too. He's YouTube's favorite Florida caller. So buckle your seatbelt, folks. Good afternoon, y'all, with Pete.
Hey, how's it going, Pete? It's George.
I know who it is. I'm pretty sure everybody else does, too. What's up, George?
I want to tell all the people in the chat, I got to get out of the chat. It's so hard for me to do 3 things at once, like chat, talk, and communicate.
Yeah, make sure you do that because we don't need you getting confused on here.
I'm feeling better, though. I didn't do a 3-step process to call you tonight. I just went to my phone, hit Pete, and called you.
That's good. Slim Shady Canes, thank you, sir. He says, this caller needs to realize crack is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, crack is a hell of a drug.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir.
I smoked crack one time. I went to lunch at the Portland Shipyard, and all I wanted was like a nickel bag of weed or whatever, buy a joint. But all that was there was crack dealers. So I took a puff of that shit. I can't believe I went back to work. I'm lucky I didn't kill somebody that day. It was fucked up, man.
George, you're something else. You know that. Hey, Hurricane Logan said last caller. Well, I'm not going to even read it. This is a family show, sir. Between you and George.
Yeah. Be nice.
Anyway, you guys can see what he said. George, what?
Hey, people want me to talk shit about Georgia, but we haven't even played one game yet. All I could say about Georgia is it's kind of funny that their quarterback left when he could have stayed. And if he would have stayed, he could have stayed another year after that. But instead, he chose to go to the NFL and make a black person joke on social media. I'm like, what's going on in Georgia, man?
Are you talking about
Are they
Fromm?
self-imploding? Yeah, Fromm. Do you not remember the tweet he made and somebody made it public?
I'm not talking about the tweet. I'm talking about the other thing you said.
Fromm could have still stayed. He was a junior. That son of a bitch beat Florida 3 times in a row. I guess even a blind person or a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. Unbelievable.
George, in the description of your phone call, it said something about what the hell is Howard's Rock?
Yeah, that was last week. I said, what is Howard's Rock? It says, welcome to Howard's Rock when you call.
Oh.
You don't know what your phone says when someone calls you? It says, welcome to Howard's Rock. Please state your name.
Sir.
Okay. Then push the pound button.
I'm the one that set it up.
And what's Howard's Rock? And I don't care about it. I'm just saying. Is that another name for rock cocaine or something? What's Howard's Rock?
The forecast for today is partly stupid with 100% chance of dumbass.
George.
100%. What?
Do you not know what Howard's Rock is, really?
Tells me, huh?
Do you really not know what Howard's Rock is?
I have no idea. Is it like a cartoon on TV or something? I don't know. I'm an old guy. I can't keep up with this shit.
Well, Howard's Rock is older than you are.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's a hill in
pretty much every
South Carolina. It's a big hill in South Carolina. They call it Howard's Rock. It's a piece of granite sticking out of the ground. That's my guess. It's like Stone Mountain, Georgia, but it's not in Georgia. I have no idea. Fraggle Rock. Jordan Bowman just said he's thinking of Fraggle Rock. Oh, my God, it's Christmas Eve. It is freaking Christmas Eve. I was going to bed early tonight.
Wrong.
Tomorrow morning, we got SEC football.
You know what day today is, right, George?
Oh, I keep doing that, don't I?
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Fucking pre-Alzheimer's. That's what that shit is. Well, I get to be excited for another day or 2 or 3. I had to count them off individually, make sure I got that right. So, Miami looks good. I'll pick Florida. I can't guess scores on games just randomly. I just know when someone's going to win. I knew Miami was free money If I could mortgage a house or get $100,000, I'd have bet $100,000 on Miami last week. I was that positive, and they were 2-point underdogs. Oh my God! This time they got to pass an 11.5-point spread, but I think I'd still take them. But it's not as free as it was last week. God damn, that was just free money.
Everybody hear that? George says
Every once in a while.
George says it's not going to be close. So break out your wallets. Put all your money on the Canes.
No, if I had $100,000 to bet, I wouldn't bet $100,000 on beating the 11.5 points. I would bet $50,000 because I think Miami will win by 30 probably against FSU. But it's a rivalry. What if the refs cheat? What if somebody gets an accidental fumble? And But last week I was 100% positive. I told everybody on every channel it was free money. Just free freaking money. I knew there was no chance Louisville would beat Miami because I know De'Ara King. He changes the whole thing just having that quarterback. Everybody has confidence. Now that they've won 2 games with him, they're about to blow the roof off because they know they got a quarterback. If they all just try real hard, they got a real good chance of winning. And I hope they're undefeated when they play Clemson. And I don't care who wins, but at least it'll be a good game, an exciting game. It'll be a big build-up, and game day will be there again and all that. Yep. I hope they beat. Did they play Notre Dame?
No.
Okay. No, that's good, too. I hate Notre Dame so bad. I hope they lose every.
You and everybody else.
That's the only team I hate is Notre Dame. And I think Penn State should just dissolve their football program out of shame and leave. I'll never forget about that shit. Shame on them. And Notre Dame's probably guilty of the same stuff, but I don't want to go there. Oh, my God. How does it all get so complicated?
Fan police en route.
Exactly.
Hey, George, guess what, buddy?
What?
I got to go.
All right. No prison stories tonight?
No. Maybe Friday night.
All right.
All right. But thank you for the call. You're entertaining as always.
You too.
All
and
right,
I love everybody in the chat. Best chat in America. They're fantastic and amazing.
Amazing and fantastic. You're right. Thank you.
Amazing and fantastic. That's what I meant. Later.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Got one more call here to take. I normally shut the phone down lines down at 11 o'clock, but I'm going to take this last call. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
What's going on, Pete?
What's up? Who am I speaking with?
Gator Zone.
Gator Zone.
I've never asked no.
Huh?
Oh, am I still on here?
George,
Yeah,
hang
George's
up the phone,
still on
buddy.
here.
I forgot I have to hang up. I was answering someone in the chat. He said George is bath salts personified. I said, I've never done bath salts.
George,
all right, I'm hanging up now. My turn to hang up. Okay.
Congratulations. You tried and you failed miserably.
Man, what would we do without George?
I don't know, man. He's a sight.
God.
It should put him in the Hall of Fame.
All right, so you're the third. You're officially the third Gator fan to call tonight. I mean, the Gators are out in full force. You guys must be really excited about this weekend.
We got nothing going on, Pete. Think of how long it's been without Florida football.
Yeah. I feel you, man. I mean, I'm sure I'm happy the SEC's back. I mean,
yeah.
I wish all five. I mean, I wish the Pac-12 was even playing. So I'm definitely glad the SEC's back.
When's the last time you watched the Pac-12 football game, Pete?
Oh, I watch them all the time. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
Yeah, the late night games after all the other ones ended. Now, I'm not going to sit there and carve out 3 hours of my night to watch Colorado play Arizona, but
yeah.
But yeah, if SC's playing or Oregon or even Washington State or Washington, yeah, I mean, I'll watch those. Arizona State, they were exciting last year. So
yeah, I think it's been a couple of years for me.
Damn.
Watching them.
What, you just don't stay up late enough or you just don't care?
I just don't care. I only
okay.
actually nowadays only catch about 3 games a week.
Okay.
But I got some predictions for you, Pete.
All right, go ahead.
Lay them out for this weekend.
Okay.
I got Kentucky going on the road at Auburn. I think I've told you this multiple times. Definitely covering the spread. And I'm going to say Kentucky is going to win by 10 at Auburn.
You think Kentucky's going to win by 10 points at Auburn?
Yeah, and I'm going to go with the over on the 49.5.
I got to think about that one a little more.
Kentucky is going to run the ball like crazy. Auburn's reeling. They've lost linebackers. They've lost their defensive tackles. They've lost.
Right.
I mean, their secondary is non-existent at times. I just really high on Kentucky, and then don't sleep on Kentucky's defense, especially with Stoops at the helm.
Right. Yeah, they've always got a solid defense, and you're right about Auburn's offense is probably their biggest question mark right now. My question is, if Auburn loads the box, and I know they got a bunch of players missing and all of that, but they normally have a really good defensive line no matter what. I mean, they've recruited well for the past, I don't even know how many years. So even if they've got a defensive tackle out or whatever, they're still going to be good on the defensive line. So, I mean, can touchdown Terry beat Auburn through the air? That's the question. And I don't know if he can.
I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to, Pete. I think it's going to be Rose and Cavassier smoke all day long, all over the ground. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, they're replacing. I don't remember the postseason awards or anything like that, but I venture to guess the 2 defensive tackles from Auburn last year that went to the draft. They're at least first team, maybe second team All American. They were ridiculous. Derek Brown and I'm trying to think, Marlon Davison, they were ridiculous last year, and they didn't rotate. Those 2 guys were in the game the entire game. So I'm thinking straight up the gut, over and over, make them stop you.
Well, I'm looking forward to this game because I mean Kentucky is being hyped up like no other, and maybe there may be some legitimacy. That may be legit.
Well, they got, in my opinion, they got the best O-line in the SEC. They got a good stable of backs. They got a quarterback.
The best O-line in the SEC. That's a serious statement you just made there, sir.
That is a definitive statement. Now, I've heard a lot of good things from Tennessee's offensive line.
What about Alabama?
Alabama should be matured. But I don't think I think Kentucky, as far as numbers this year, in the division that they play in, the same division as Florida, I think they're going to have better numbers, and they're going to have a lot more running efficiencies. But that's that game.
You're about to talk me into betting. I'm telling you now between and Lou hasn't said like they're going to be world beaters or anything, but he thinks they're going to be good. Mark Rogers thinks they're winning the East. You're telling me that they're going to beat Auburn by 10 points and they're 10-point underdog or 11-point underdogs. That's a 21-point swing between Vegas line and your prediction.
CBS has got it as.
I'm expecting Kentucky now, based on the 3 of you and some of the people here in the chat, to come out there and just light the world on fire. That's a high expectation to live up to if you're Kentucky.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's not going to be an air-out shootout. It's not going to be a Big 12 type game shootout.
Jamie,
I think Kentucky's able to move the ball well on the ground, and I think Auburn around the edges can find some pick and poison. But I don't think either team is going to be very interested in throwing the ball unless they have to.
I'm thinking they're being a little bit overhyped. But again, I don't know.
And that's fair. I mean, there's question marks on Kentucky's team. You're bringing back Terry Wilson, a quarterback. You're losing 2 receivers with, Lynn Bowden and Wagner, but you still have the talent. I think we'll be at the end of the season. We'll be talking a lot about Kentucky's DBs and Kentucky's offensive line.
Yeah.
But moving on to that, I think no way LSU loses at home to Mississippi State. I don't think that Texas Tech has a shot in hell of beating Texas.
Me either. We agree on those two.
Yeah, Georgia is going to roll all day.
Yes.
I think 26 might be a little high.
Do you really?
Where we don't really. Yeah, when we don't know too much about what Georgia's offensive identity is going to be. I don't know what Arkansas' run defense looks like, but we don't know about Georgia's offensive line.
I could just tell you, I don't care I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. It could be me for all I care. The talent gap between Arkansas and Georgia is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. But I think it's got to be Mathis, or it's got to, because they announced today that JT Daniels is not cleared for game reps.
They said he will be by Saturday, but that doesn't mean he probably won't play.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that even matters. If they march out DeJuan Mathis or who's the other guy, Brennan, whoever it is.
Yeah, they got that. Yeah, Stinson Bennett or whatever his name.
Bennett, not Bennett. Yeah, Bennett. Whatever. They say he's terrible, but whatever. Look.
Yeah.
Who we got? Felipe Franks. He's the quarterback for Arkansas.
And a damn good running back.
Okay. Oh.
So we'll see. I don't know if Pittman's had enough time to get that offensive line going, but
I think Georgia wins by 30 points or more. I'm taking I'll reveal this tomorrow on the Lunch Money Show. I've already taken them.
Arkansas is the hard one for me to pick, but 26 seems just way too high with all the unknowns.
I think it's too
Georgia.
Low. If it were 28 and a half, I might be, but 26 is under 4 touchdowns. That's my mark for them.
Well, I mean that's one that I would probably stay away from. I just think that 26 is a little bit too high for first game. When you got a new offensive coordinator, you got a whole new offense. It looks like it's apart from the wide receivers.
Well, hell, I mean,
talking about the first game and COVID.
Arkansas's got a new head coach. That's even worse.
And
they were bad last year. And
yeah, they were.
They were. But the year before that.
I think the COVID factor might get them, and they're traveling. So
yeah. All right. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Tennessee, South Carolina. My goodness.
Yeah, what you think about that?
They got Tennessee at 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I would definitely stay away from that game.
Me too. I am. I'm staying
over.
I'm staying a million feet away from that game because we don't know what either one of them are going to look like.
43.5 is the over.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I would jump all over the over, except it's so low. I'm scared. I think this tells you that they don't believe in either one of these offenses, and for good reason. And the two decent defensive squads. You know what? I'm not going to do anything with this game because I'm too scared of it. There's too much unknowns, but I might actually go under the 43. I think it could be like 17-10 or 20-10 or something like that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I'm not touching it. I mean, literally no outcome of that game would surprise me. So I'll just stay away from it.
And then I'm definitely going with Miami at -17 or -11.
Yeah.
I think it's 4-8.
Yeah, I would.
Who won that game last year?
Oh, Miami.
Miami won it? Okay.
Yeah.
If FSU had won it last year, I would definitely.
I think Miami's won that game. It's either 2 or 3 years in a row. Maybe it might even be 3. I know they won at least 2 years in a row. It might be 3. Somebody could probably tell me in the chat. I'm sure I'll get corrected in a second. But
I knew one of them needed a win to get bowl eligible. But I mean, it wasn't like towards the end of the season, obviously, but it was one of the games that pushed the other team into bowl eligibility.
Yeah, so. FSU fan says 3. Yeah, that's what I thought. So,
okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's my picks for this weekend. But
I like them. I mean, we're apart on the Kentucky-Auburn thing. With the points, I would probably take Auburn as an 8. I think it was 8. I definitely don't think Kentucky's winning by 10. But that I won't touch that one either because I I don't know enough about Kentucky. Like everything you just told me about Kentucky tonight is something I didn't know. So I'm ignorant. I'm admitting it. I'm ignorant when it comes to Kentucky. So I'm staying away from that. But pretty much every other game we agreed on, I think.
I mean,
what about
Alabama with having all.
What about Alabama, Missouri? I mean, I know we're both picking Alabama to win that game, but that's the line on that was 27. It was 27.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now. It was 27 yesterday on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Alabama's got a lot. They're going to be trying to go for the jugular because they got to spur up that they're going to have a good attack, a good offense with Mac Jones. And Mac Jones is, I mean, I list him as the second best quarterback in the SEC.
Yeah, he's good. Everyone's enamored with Bryce Young, and I am too. But he's no slouch.
Go back and watch them against Auburn.
Yeah,
they ended up losing that game.
He's no slouch.
But watch this Mac Jones with Auburn.
Yeah, he's no slouch. I'm thinking Bama's going to roll by 40 points or more. So I don't even that might be
Pigskin Pete's lock of the week.
I feel comfortable in Alabama. So
I do too. I think that I didn't know the spread was. I thought it would be in the 30s.
That's what I thought.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Pete. Just want to remind you that Florida, regardless of what happens this game on Saturday, we're going 19-0. You can go ahead and take that to the bank. And go Gators.
All right, man. Thank you for the call.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
You guys have it. The Gators on. And the Gators, they showed up and showed out today. Hopefully the Gators show up and show out as much on Saturday as they did tonight on the Pigskin Pete live call-in show. Because they did their part tonight here. Now I just got to do it on the field. With Kyle Trask and Dan Mullett at the helm. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for the people that donated. Of course, all the people that called in. This is a call-in show, and I say this all the time, that if it weren't for the callers, there would be no call-in show. It would just be me on here rambling about nonsense, and nobody wants to hear that, including me, and I would be the one rambling. Make sure you check out the howardsrock.net thing site and store. And again, this is not just for Clemson fans for gear. Florida gear on there, Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Florida State, Miami. I don't even know how many are on there. There's a bunch of teams on there. So if you're a fan of it, or Georgia, I think I said Georgia. And I will see you guys again tomorrow at noon with Uncle Lou on LouTube for the Lunch Money Show at 12 o'clock noon. And, of course, Friday night, College Football Eve at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Friday night call-in show. Thank you guys for stopping in. It was fun. Pigskin Pete is checking out.